Hey everyone, this is Debraj here, and this video is about another Polyfill method, which is filter. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what is filter, how it works, and also how you can handle sparse arrays inside a filter. And the major reason I'm doing this video, that is how you can implement your own filter function from scratch. So this video is going to be about 10 minutes long, and I hope at the end of this video you get to learn something new. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and help me grow this channel. I'm trying to spread as much knowledge as possible, and I'll soon be adding more content to it. And yeah, without any further delay, let's get right into the coding, right? Okay. So here I have taken an array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So first, let me talk about what is filter. Filter, as the name suggests, it filters out certain data from an array. Because this is an array function only, this is an array method, because filter is only available for array methods, right? So, and as the name suggests, it filters out something, right? Okay. So filter, first of all, it's a function. It's an array function or method, you can say. Second, it filters out values depending on a callback function. Okay. So this callback function, we pass inside our filter method. So filter takes in only one parameter, which is a callback function. And that callback function checks and decides whether to keep that value or reject that value, whether to keep that value in the resultant array or not keep that value. So this is one thing. And also, I forgot to mention one point. Filter always returns a new array. That means your original array does not get modified. Every time it will return a new array, which you will be storing in some variable, and then that variable will have the filtered values. So from here only, you can pretty much guess where to use filter. Basically, whenever you don't want to modify your original array and you want to filter out certain data based on some condition. For example, maybe in this array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't want any element which is greater than 3. So you want to filter out elements greater than 3. That is your purpose. So for each element, it will iterate and check if it is greater than 3 or not. If it is greater than 3, then it will not take it. And if it is less than or equal to 3, then I will put that in the resultant array. That is as simple as it gets for the filter method, right? Now, let me show you an example of how it works. Maybe filter result, okay? This is the variable where I am going to store the returned result from filter, okay? Now, I'm going to apply this filter on this error array, error.filter. Now, you can see here only, this takes in a predicate, or this is a callback function only, which takes in the value, index, and array. Okay. Value is a mandatory property, but index and array, these are optional parameters. You can choose not to give it as well. Okay. Usually we don't give it because there are very few cases where you might be needing that, but generally we don't need those. So for this example, like, we can only work with value only. We don't need the index or the array itself. Because, okay, let me just go through the example and this will clear your understanding about filter. So this is error.filter. Filter is a function. This takes in a callback function. This is the callback function, right? And this callback function has 3 parameters. One is value, one is index, one is array. Okay. So suppose whenever filter is iterating through each element of the array, okay, suppose I am at 3, then this value will contain 3 and index will contain 0, 1, 2. That means second index, and array will contain this whole array, right? But in this situation, do we need index and array? We don't, right? because we are going to, I'm looking for something like this output I am looking for. So we can do this only using only values, right? So here I'm going to check return if value is less than equal to 3. If this condition is true, then in the resultant array, that particular element will be present. So suppose filter is iterating through each element of the array. Suppose I am at 1. 1 is less than equal to 3. Yes, it's true. Then I will keep that. 2. 2 is less than equal to 3. Yes. 3. 3 is less than equal to 3. Yes. Then 1, 2, 3 is all now have been pushed in my resultant array. 4 is it less than equal to 3? No, it's not. Then it is not going to be considered. 5 less than equal to 3? No, it's not going to be considered. So if you see the result now, console.log result, okay, filter result, see, this is the output 1, 2, 3. Whichever elements satisfied this condition, those elements has been added to my final array. And my original array is still the same because I am printing the resultant array now. Now, if you just see this original array error, I'm just typing it out. See, the original array is still the same. No change has been made to this array. So, and if I do filter this, it's now 1, 2, 3, right? Now, suppose if an element is, see how filter did its magic. If some element is missing, it is not considering that. It is skipping that directly and going to the next element and checking if that element satisfies this condition or not. So this is an example of a sparse array. And whenever we are writing our own custom filter function, we need to make sure that it can handle the sparse array as well, right? Okay. So now let me write my own filter function. Okay. To write my own filter function, I need to inherit of array.prototype because filter is an array method and all the methods or all the properties I can, or basically I can say that any array object or array instance you declare, suppose this error, all its properties like error.length, error.filter, whatever you are using, all of them are inside this array.prototype. So we need to inherit from there. And if we are going to add our own method there also, then we can write it just like this, my filter. Okay. Instead of my filter, you can type any name here, but this is the ideal convention whenever we are writing our own custom function. So I'm just going with that. Now, as I said, filter is a function. So my filter will also be a function. This is my own filter now. Okay. This is going to be a function. In this callback function, we pass inside the filter method, right? So here we'll have a function that will be passing inside this my filter. Just like we passed a function, this function we passed. Similarly, we'll be passing a function in my filter as well. This is the callback function. Wait. And filter always returns an array. So let me take a resultant array and just return it because it always returns an array. This is the one major thing. Okay. Now, I am invoking error.filter. So how is it getting the reference to this error? There is a special keyword in JavaScript that is the this keyword, THIS. With this keyword, we can refer to the parent instance or parent object that where I am invoking my function from, right? So suppose maybe const length equal to this dot length. You will start to understand this. So here this dot length refers to error dot length. Suppose I am going to call error dot my filter in the future. Then this error dot my filter. So how can I know that what is the length of my error? From the keyword this. If we use this keyword, we can get the reference to that instance. Okay. Now I will be iterating through it using a normal simple for loop. I less than n, I plus plus, right? Now here, what did I say? If this callback function value gets satisfied, it returns a true or false. And if it is true, I will take that value in my resultant array. And if it is false, I won't consider that. So we need to check if the callback function that I have passed satisfies the current element. And how can I access this current element? As I said, this is array. So you can visualize it like this, arr.length. This is basically, you can visualize that this equal to arr in this case. Okay. So if you're calling in from with some different instance of array, maybe arr2, then it will be arr2 length, right? So this basically refers to whatever instance you are calling the method from. Okay. And as I said, going back to callback function takes three values, right? One is value, one is index, and one is array itself. So what is the value? This I. As I said, this is arr, this I. What is the index? I. And what is the array? This. So if this condition is now satisfied, then I will push that in my resultant array. Right? And now let me just copy this section of code, and instead of filter, I am going to write, let me clear the console also, my filter. See, this worked perfectly. And this also handles the sparse array by default. But maybe this is because of the browser engine here. But usually to handle sparse arrays, I'll be showing it how you can handle that. But usually you need to mention something that whether that index particularly exists or not. That is how you can handle. So the ideal way to handle a sparse array, suppose, as I said, suppose 2 is missing. Okay. Then in that case, how you can handle this is basically you need to check object.hasOn_property. Here you pass the object itself, instance itself, and the index. If this is true and the callback function is also returning true, then you push that particular element to the array. And it is working just the same way as the filter does, right? As filter works. So this is how you can write your own custom filter as well. And this is pretty straightforward. And I hope you got to understand how we are handling the sparse array, because this is, in modern day, this is one of the best ways to handle sparse arrays. And yeah, other than that, the callback function is pretty simple. It is basically giving you a condition, and that condition, if it is true, then I will be adding that particular element to my resultant array. If not, I'll not consider that, right? And at the end of the day, I'm returning the resultant array. That is how you can write your own custom filter function. This is pretty simple, and I hope you got to learn something new. And if you do like this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And yeah, see you in the next video.